The average American renter has paid over $264,000 in rent over the last decade, and at the end of it, they own nothing. Not a doorknob, not a square foot, nothing. But here's what's wild. There are people in those same cities, in those same markets, who figured out how to have someone else pay their mortgage. Some of them actually profit from it. And the last method I'm going to show you, veterans can do it with literally $0 down, and most of them have no idea. So grab a seat, let's get into it. The first way to house hack has the lowest barrier to entry, and you can start looking for properties this weekend. You buy a 3 or 4 bedroom home, live in the master bedroom, and rent out the other rooms. That's it. No special zoning, no commercial license, just a standard residential purchase with roommates. I know what you're thinking. Living with strangers, not exactly the dream. But run the numbers and tell me you're not at least curious. A teacher in Phoenix, 28 years old, bought a 4-bedroom home in 2021 for $285,000. 5% conventional down, so $14,250 out of pocket. She rented out 3 rooms at $750 each. That's $2,250 a month coming in. Her mortgage, taxes, and insurance, $1,850 a month. She clears $400 every single month while living in her own home. Her words, "I'm getting paid to own a home." I keep having to explain this to my mom because she doesn't believe it. 3 keys on the kitchen counter. Hers, room 2, room 3. That's the whole system. You're not a real estate mogul. You're just someone who bought a house slightly too big for one person and made the math work. In Midwest markets, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Kansas City, you can find 3 and 4 bedroom homes for $150,000 to $200,000. An FHA down payment on $175,000? About $6,100. The rooms more than cover the mortgage. Your housing cost drops to 0 or close to it. The Bigger Pockets House Hack Calculator, it's free, lets you plug in any property and see your exact monthly cost before you ever make an offer. Pull it up, run some numbers. You might surprise yourself. Okay, so that's the first move. Now here's where it gets genuinely interesting. What if instead of renting rooms in a single-family home, you bought a property that already has separate units, a duplex, a triplex? And what if buying one as your primary residence unlocks financing terms that most investors would kill for? Here's what most people don't know. When you plan to live in a property, you qualify for owner-occupant loans, and the difference is enormous. A conventional investment property loan requires 20 to 25% down, but an FHA loan for an owner-occupied property? 3.5% down, on a 1 to 4 unit building. A $310,000 triplex, like the one Marcus, a school teacher in Minneapolis, bought in 2021, requires $10,850 down with FHA financing. Not $62,000, not $77,000, $10,850. Marcus moved into 1 unit. The other 2 rented for $950 each. That's $1,900 a month in rental income. His mortgage, insurance, and taxes? $1,750 a month. He lives for free and pockets $150 every month. His quote, "The first time rent hit my account at midnight on the 1st, I just stared at my phone. It was $1,900 in 2 transactions. I was asleep." And here's what makes this even more powerful. When you apply for an FHA loan on a 2 to 4 unit property, lenders can use 75% of the projected rental income from the other units to help you qualify. Someone who can't qualify for a $400,000 single-family home might qualify for a $400,000 duplex because the rental income counts toward their debt-to-income ratio. The building helps you buy the building. Paula Pant, who hosts the Afford Anything podcast, put it perfectly. The math on house hacking is almost unfair. You're using the government's preferred financing terms, your tenant's income to qualify for the loan, and the IRS's depreciation rules to shelter the income. It's not a loophole, it's the system working exactly as designed. If this is clicking for you, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week, and the best one is still coming. Alright, this is the one I've been saving. Remember the teaser at the top, $0 down? Here's exactly how that works. The FHA loan lets you buy up to a 4-unit property with 3.5% down if you live there. But what most people have never heard is that veterans with VA loan eligibility can buy a fourplex with 0 down. Nothing. no down payment at all. 1 unit for them. 3 units generating rental income from day one. In 2022, a veteran in Colorado Springs did exactly this. He purchased a fourplex for $480,000 with $0 down using his VA benefit. 3 units rented for $1,100 each, $3,300 a month. His mortgage? $2,900 a month. He netted $400 every month while living rent-free. His quote, "I served for 12 years and didn't know this was available to me. I found out at a Bigger Pockets meetup. A 22-year-old kid told me about my own benefit." A benefit he earned, sitting unused for over a decade. But the real payoff, for veterans and civilians alike, is what happens next. After 12 months living in an FHA finance property, you can move out, keep all the units as full rentals, and buy your next home with FHA again. No refinance. Your original low-rate loan stays intact, and you do it again. This is the house hack ladder. Scott Trench, the CEO of Bigger Pockets, modeled this in his book Set for Life and showed that a 25-year-old earning $50,000 a year could realistically reach financial independence by 35 using this cycle. Buy with FHA, live for a year, move out, collect cash flow, buy again. Craig Curelop is the proof it works. In 2017, he was a financial analyst in Denver paying $1,400 a month in rent. He bought a duplex for $385,000, moved in, rented the second unit for $1,600 a month, and then rented out his own bedroom on Airbnb and slept on an air mattress in his living room. Strangers in his bedroom, someone else's cooking smells, footsteps above him, 6 months of discomfort. His Airbnb income, $900 a month on top of the unit rent. His total housing cost, -$400 a month. He was being paid to live there. 14 months later, he bought his second property. By 2019, 2 years after starting, he owned 4 properties and reached financial independence at 26. His words, "I went from paying $1,400 a month in rent to getting paid $400 a month. That's an $1,800 monthly swing. In a year, that's $21,600. I basically gave myself a raise without getting a promotion." That's not a theory. That's a documented outcome, with numbers, on a real timeline, from a real person. Some people, and I'm thinking of a certain Tennessee-based radio host, will tell you this is crazy, that you shouldn't live with strangers to afford a house you can't afford. But Craig wasn't sleeping on an air mattress because he couldn't afford his house. He was doing it because he understood what his house could do for him. So there you go. 3 ways to have your housing paid for by someone else. From renting out spare rooms, to FHA Duplex financing that bends the debt math in your favor, to a ladder strategy that builds an entire rental portfolio starting with almost nothing down. The Federal Reserve found that the median homeowner has a net worth of $396,200. The median renter, $10,400. That's a 38 times gap. House hacking is one of the clearest bridges between those two numbers that exists. If this video opens something up for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Next week, we're breaking down exactly how to analyze your first rental deal before you ever make an offer. You don't want to miss that one.